Hello and welcome to your energy reading for April 2014 using Feng Shui Astrology and the Tarot. Now in Feng Shui Astrology, the monthly energy cycle changes on the 5th of April, so that's when things are going to shift around. And I have to admit, I'm kind of sat on the fence a little bit because the combination of energies here for this month really have two possible outcomes, and I'm not quite sure where they're going. But let's have a look at the monthly energy first of all. This is going to be governed by heaven energy, and heaven energy is all about kind of boundaries and guidelines. It's quite a strict energy. It's almost like a parental energy. It's the energy of the father. So it's about authority. It's about working within a defined structure. It's governed by the element of metal, which is quite constricting as well. So there's a lot of constraints around heaven energy. However, it does help us get things done, which is very, very good. It allows us to really focus, get into the detail of things and get things sorted. The reason I'm on the fence about it is because the annual energy is the energy of wind, and wind is almost like the total opposite. Wind has to be kind of free and unrestrained. It's creative. It needs to be individual and kind of go off and do its own thing. Wind energy is governed by the element of wood, which is just so expansive. It's the opposite of heaven energy, which is constrictive. So option one, I'm going to give you two options for that. Option one is the two can clash. The two will clash. There'll be a pulling. There'll be a pulling between doing what's right for you and going off and doing your own thing, or doing what society says is right, or what your friends and family say are right, and doing things for other people, and you know, being concerned about what other people think and all that sort of stuff. So conflict of interest going on. However, the other option, option two, this is when you can get that conflict to really, really work, because what we have is this creativity coming in from the wind energy. Now, if we can tether that with the energy of heaven and focus it, we can create things. And, you know, inspiration and creation really comes from clashes and conflicts and destruction. So there is that possibility. I like to think that that is what's going to be happening, but it will really depend on your own individual circumstances and your own astrological energy, as well as how you react to this kind of clash of energies. One thing I can say is it's bound to be interesting. Okay, so let's have a look at the tarot and see if this can help a little bit. Okay, the first card is, there you go, it's the Six of Wands. I think that's come up quite recently, actually. The second card is its neighbour, the Five of Wands. Two Wands cards. Those are very kind of fiery, talking about passion and action and inspiration, all that sort of stuff. And then the third card is a major card, and this is the Magician. All of these cards came out upright, or I say they came up upright. They, as I was shuffling, they kind of popped out individually and fell on the floor. So I have to assume they came out upright. So let's have a look at these two cards here. Put them together. This is the Five and the Six of Wands. As I said, Wands is really related to fire. It's about passion and inspiration and activity. It's a very creative energy as well. So that links quite nicely to this wind energy, which is governing us for the year. However, we're kind of getting with number five. Number five, first of all. Fives kind of represent struggle. Sorry, this has just fallen on the floor again. Fives represent struggle, and this is really talking about a struggle to put your point across with other people, to fit in with other people. And this energy is about this individualism, being you and being authentic and not backing down when others disagree with you or question you or ask you to prove yourself, really. And this is the sort of struggle that's going on. It's a real kind of test of you and what's important to you and what you're prepared to stand up for, which leads us on to this second card. This is the Six of Wands, and this is the phase after the struggle. So it says, okay, people have kind of, called our bluff, told us to stand up and be true to ourselves. And we're doing it. We're doing it with the Six of Wands. Now, both of these cards really link to this individual energy of the wind. And I said before, I think there are two options. You can either kind of pull apart and clash, or you can work together. And this strikes me that this is kind of like the first option, and the energy of that wind is going to be stronger than the monthly energy of heaven to focus us and everything. So there could be a lot of struggle going on. And this struggle as well could also be internal. It doesn't have to be with other people. It might be with yourself. It's very difficult sometimes to actually stand up and put your point across, especially if your point is completely different from everybody else's. It really tests our faith in ourselves. So it may be that you come across those situations where you have to really stand up and be counted for who you are and what you are. But it's well starred that you can do that with that sixth card as well. It's also well starred with this third card, which is the Magician. This is a really lovely card to get in a reading because it's a reminder. It's a reminder that tells us, okay, we have our feet planted on the earth, but we also have a connection with the spiritual up there. We are a combination of material and spiritual, and we have to start living that way. And what the Magician does is he reminds us that we all have the power of alchemy. We all have the power to change ourselves, to change our environment, change any condition that is causing problems for us. We all have the power to create magic. But we can only do that when we recognize ourselves as individuals. And I think that ties up quite nicely with those two Wands cards as well. So if you're in a situation this month where you are being pulled between doing, what society expects you to do, what your family expects you to do, what your friends expect you to do, but there's a conflict inside for you because there's you wanting to do something else, I think you really have to put the energy towards being authentic to you and expressing yourself. You may upset some people. You may, possibly you will. But at the end of the day, it is important that you are authentic to who you are. So whatever struggles are going on, whether they're external, whether they're internal, just come back to who you are and be true to yourself. And I think that's all I can really say about this month. If you want to find out more information, my website is at the bottom of the screen. Just have a look on there. There's all sorts of links. You can also link on to my Feng Shui Astrology forecast blog and find out your own inherent energy. So have a great month, and I will see you next month.